Hello everyone, hope you are all doing good. So today we are going to talk about the challenges faced by the urban poor. Okay, this particular topic is not just important for your UPSC mains preparation, but it is also vital for understanding the real issues our urban poor faces daily. Okay, I have divided this topic into 5 parts. Okay, so that it would be easier for you to understand, and we will break it down together, part by part, line by line, okay, in depth. And by the end of this video, you will have a crystal clear understanding. Okay, and also you will have around 30 points about this challenges faced by urban poor, this particular topic. Okay, you'll have around 30 points at your disposal to use in your answer writing. Okay, and it will also be useful in your interview also. Okay, so first off, we are going to talk about the housing and living conditions of the urban poor. Okay, so when you look at this picture, what do you see? You are seeing cramped spaces, right? Cramped spaces with minimum ventilation, right? And also poor waste management. This is what you are saying: cramped spaces, minimum ventilation, and poor waste management. Okay, it is not just about the discomfort, it is a recipe for health disaster. Okay, so areas like Mumbai's Dharavi are prime example where living conditions are far from ideal, putting the resident at constant risk. Okay, so these overcrowded, cramped, and unsanitary environments create serious health issues. Okay, many people migrate to cities with big dreams, but they end up in informal settlements because they can't afford better housing. These areas often lack legal recognition, making life even more precarious. So you must be thinking, why should they move to such inadequate places with very little basic amenities, right? Because of the expensive housing and the rising real estate rate. Okay, so these peoples are pushed into less secure areas which don't even have proper legal recognition, thus making their life very precarious. Okay, so many are left to live in informal settlements without basic services. Imagine constantly worrying about whether you will still have a roof over your head tomorrow or not. This is the dark reality for those without formal property rights, thus leading to a life full of insecurity and fear of eviction. So, the absence of proper property rights leads to insecure housing and stability for the urban poor. Okay, so next off, we'll talk about over congestion of living places. Okay, so picture living in a house where every corner is packed with people. This isn't just uncomfortable, it is dangerous also. Overcrowding can lead to serious health issues and mental stress. Okay, so overcrowding living spaces not only diminishes the quality of life but also poses serious health risk. Okay, and many slums are located in places prone to floods, landslides, or pollution. Okay, these areas are vulnerable to floods, landslides, or pollution. Living in such areas not only makes life harder but also exposes residents to constant danger. So, slums that often sit in hazard prone areas increases the risk for the residents. The next one is lack of basic necessities. Okay, imagine having to live without access to clean water, electricity, proper sanitation. These are basic necessities for every human life. For many, these essentials are out of reach, making life even more challenging. The lack of basic necessities like clean water, sanitation worsens living conditions. Okay, let's move on to the second part, that is health and sanitation. Okay, so poor sanitation isn't about just bad smells, it is also about the spread of diseases. Okay, so when the waste isn't properly managed, it creates a breeding ground for illness, making slum life even tougher. So poor sanitation leads to increased health hazards in urban slums. Okay, in crowded slums, the disease spread very quickly. Poor sanitation and high population densities make these areas hotbeds for outbreaks of communicable diseases. Okay, so high population densities in denser populations, high population densities and poor sanitation results in frequent disease outbreaks. Okay, now let's think about a child growing up without enough nutritious food. This leads to malnutrition and mental health issues that can affect them for life. It is a silent crisis that weakens the entire community. So, malnutrition and poor mental health are common in areas with inadequate nutrition. Okay. Imagine falling sick but having no nearby healthcare facilities. This is the reality for many in slum areas, when even minor illness can turn into serious health problems due to the lack of medical care. So, lack of healthcare facilities means minor health issues can escalate into major problems. Okay, so limited healthcare option exacerbate the health problems. There is a rule that say that there should be one healthcare center for every 50,000 people. But in reality, slums often have only one for every 250,000 people. There is a massive gap, leaves many without access to essential healthcare. Okay, so the shortage of healthcare centers in slums lead to gaps in medical care. Women in these areas often don't get the healthcare they need, whether it is for general health or for maternal care. Okay, whether it is for general health or maternal care, this neglect can lead to serious health problems that could have been prevented. So, women's health issues are often overlooked, leading to long term health consequences. Okay. In many slum areas, people either don't know the importance of immunization, they this leads to lower vaccination rates and higher chances of preventable disease. Okay, so either they don't know about the importance of immunization or they can't access it. Okay, so low awareness and access to immunization increases the risk of disease outbreaks. Okay, with a low immunization rate, children in these areas are at higher risk of diseases that could easily be prevented with proper vaccination. So, low immunization rates leaves the children vulnerable to preventable diseases. Okay. Next, let's move on to the next part of the topic, that is economic challenges. Okay. So, for many in the informal economy, jobs are very hard to come by and often they don't pay well. Okay, this makes it difficult to make ends meet with little to no job security to rely on. So, low wages and insecure jobs keep the urban poor trapped in the cycle of poverty. Okay. and around 90 percentage still remain in the unorganized sector. Most of the urban poor in unorganized sector where there is no formal protection or benefits. This lack of stability makes it nearly impossible for them to improve their living conditions. Okay, so employment in unorganized sector offers no security or growth prospect. When families are struggling to survive, even children are often forced to work instead of going to school, keeping the cycle of poverty going and going. Okay, so child labor is a consequence of poverty that further hardens the cycle of poverty. Okay, the next part is access to services and opportunities. Okay, so navigating the process to access a government welfare can be a nightmare for the urban poor. Okay, so without the right documents or knowledge, it is very impossible for these people to know what welfare programs they can avail. So many may miss out on the help they need. Okay, so this limit access to essential welfare benefits to them. Poor education quality hinders the future opportunities. The quality education is crucial for breaking the cycle of poverty. But in slums, schools are often overcrowded and underfunded, leaving these children with little hope for better future. So, poor education in slums hinders the upward mobility, and further they it will be very difficult for them to break the cycle of poverty. Okay, next one is poor mobility. With limited public transport options, even getting to work or accessing essential services becomes a challenge. So, this lack of mobility keeps many in the cycle of poverty and dependence. Lack of transportation options limits the access to jobs and essential service. Then, discrimination and social exclusion. Urban poor often face discrimination that limits their access to jobs, education, and basic services. This social exclusion only deepens their struggles. So, social exclusion and discrimination make it even harder for the urban poor to improve their lives. Okay. The last part is environmental and safety issues. The urban poor are often the first to suffer from extreme weather conditions like heat waves, cold waves. Okay, their homes offer little protection, making survival a daily challenge. So, extreme weather condition add to the harsh living condition of the urban poor. Okay, and living in poverty isn't just about money. It is about navigating a maze of challenges that makes life incredibly hard. These issues are interconnected, making it difficult to find a way out. So, these interconnected challenges of poverty create a very complex barrier to improve their living condition. Okay. Higher exposure to crimes and violence. Safety is a constant concern in slum areas where crime rates are very high. Threat of violence affects every aspect of life, from physical health to mental health. High crime rates in slums increases the risk and stress levels of the residents there. Okay. Imagine feeling unsafe in your own home. For many in slums, this is a daily reality. They are constantly vulnerable to crime and violence, which severely impacts their quality of life. Insecure living environments further degrade the quality of life in slums. Okay, so these are the challenges. These challenges are more than just topics for your UPSC exam. Okay, they are the daily struggles of millions of peoples. By understanding them, you're not only preparing for your exam but also gaining insights into the real issues that need to be addressed in our society. If this video helped you, don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more lessons. Bye bye. Take care.